Welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Eric Woodruff, and today we're going to spend about 7 minutes going through some of the best sales techniques for selling energy management projects. A little bit about myself. I've worked in the energy field for a very, very long time. I have some clients, as you can see up here, and I've written some books, and I've been past president of the Association of Energy Engineers. But most importantly to this discussion is that I've trained thousands of people in energy management, and I've probably done about 150 seminars. The most important thing about an energy management project is that it gets approved. Otherwise, it saves no energy. So I have a lot of experience, but also all of those people that I've taught have brought great ideas, and you're going to see some of them filtered into this presentation. I've also had the pleasure to work with some very well-known people and have discussions on stage about some of these concepts, and it's a really fantastic opportunity to do that, and I'm very, very thankful. But let's jump right into the good reasons for energy management projects. Now, there's a lot on the screen here. This is the overview. We're going to take this piece by piece. So first of all, I want to point out that energy savings go directly to the bottom line, which means that every penny saved is a penny earned, meaning for a private company, that's extra profits which benefit the organization. These energy savings also come with very low risk compared to other projects. If you were a hospital and had to build a new wing, you'd have to build the wing and you might make 10% profit, and then you got to hope a bunch of people get sick. With energy projects, the savings go directly to the bottom line, and it's extremely low risk. It's a very undersold element of energy projects. Further, we have a project in energy that might have a 30 or 40% return on investment, and that might be greater than the company's profit margin. So what's funny to me is I have a lot of companies that say, oh, you need to find 50% return projects, but the company profit margin will only be 10%. So if we went out and found 40%, if we find this and then we get rejected, you really want to ask the company, say, why are we rejecting a 40% return project when your company only makes 10? That makes no sense, and that's a worthy argument to have with a CFO. They might not like you immediately after you have that argument, but it's worth pointing out that the energy projects have a much higher return than most company profit margins. Another great point to make is that the project return on investment might be greater than the cost of finance. Right now, financing, let's just say, I'm just being very expensive here and say it's 10%, you often get financing for less than that, even half. If a project has 40% return on investment and you might have to spend 10% to get there, you're still 30% ahead of doing nothing. So anytime you're faced with a upfront capital problem, you should really look at this kind of analogy, because basically doing 30% is better than doing nothing. Next point I want to make is that energy projects have a lot of non-utility benefits. We've done work with the International Energy Agency as well as published articles on this. You can find them on the websites. When you save $100 in energy, you might save another 10 or 11% in maintenance, material, and labor. And that's significant because basically you're saying, hey, I just increased my profits by 11%, even though those profits are not going to show up in the energy budget. This also translates into all kinds of things: avoided capital, other expenses that you do not have to make, and this is significant even though the money is not impacting the utility budget. Another one that is fantastic that's often undersold is the improved building value. When you do energy projects, you're upgrading the facility in many cases, and that represents that the facility now has a higher sales value. This is significant and is driving a lot of the activity in the real estate market. Let me explain it this way. If you had a project that saved $200,000 a year, that might improve the building value by $1 million. So which sounds better, saving $200,000 a year or improving the building value by $1 million? Most people would say the $1 million sounds better, and we will show you how to do that. Another great concept is better cost competitiveness. If you're in any type of factory and you make an energy improvement, often you can make the profits better, the flow better, the productivity better, etc. That's something you want to count. A 1% improvement in productivity is going to completely pay for your project in most cases. Building on that are these other elements, such as green or sustainable image properties that help companies sell more, or they help companies retain their employees. That's another great thing about energy projects. And what I like to tell people is, if I was the CEO and I've got my facility manager coming to me telling me that this energy project is a good idea, but I also have HR saying the same thing, as well as the sales department or marketing. If more people are coming to me telling me this energy project is a good idea because maybe it reduces carbon or maybe it retains employees better and it also saves energy, the more people that come to me, the more likely I'm going to improve the project. And these final bullets here just highlight this. We all live in one planet. We're reducing the pollution to our environment, which is a good thing. That builds morale. Also, with all the rules, and we talk about this in the carbon course, with all the rules that are required now with government regulations and requirements, some of these things, such as lower carbon footprint, actually help suppliers meet their government requirements. So in looking at the whole list, this is just a real basic list, but some of the most popular ones. There are other tips and tools that I describe in other places, and basically it's all about to gain approval. Again, if you don't get the project approved, it really doesn't matter how much energy it was going to save. Some of these tips and tools involve psychological or other reasons which are very fascinating, and we teach them in courses. But I just encourage you, whatever you do, at least employ the ones we've outlined here. And if you want to go further, there's other information. But once again, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope this helps you sell more projects. Again, we're all living on the same planet, and we really need you to sell more energy projects and reduce our pollution. Have a great day.